And here we are. I'm going to hold the mic for this one. The culmination of my Relationship 101 series. The grand finito, the grand finale, the conclusion. And it's featuring yours truly. As well as two of my exes. Not one, I have two of them. So it's a mini series, And I thought I was going to call it my Man in the Mirror series. Then I thought I was going to call it, a letter to my 2011 self and a letter to my 2014 self. We just going to post it. There's no title needed, Before I recorded these videos, I had numerous conversations with not only my mentors, but with my friends as well, to see if I should even insert myself into the series. Because, I'm not married, for one. I'm not even in a relationship. And I didn't want to take from what I was trying to do. I didn't want to take anything from what I was trying to do with people in successful, committed relationships. But at the same point in time, I did want to do something, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm perfect. I get on here and I talk all high and mighty on my episodes, but I'm not perfect, and I want y'all to see that. I want you to also know that I don't think that I'm perfect. And so in these conversations that I'm having with Sharí and Jasmine, you see that. And not only was it just, it was a 19-year-old me and a 22-year-old me, but, I got problems now. They're not the same problems, but, I'm not Prince Charming. I am charming, and I'm incredibly handsome, but, we all got our flaws. So I want you guys to pay attention because, these conversations in these last two episodes, they're not for me. I've already gone back and had these conversations with them years ago, so we're good. I'm good friends with both of them now. But it's more so for you guys. I want you guys to understand that it's okay to go back and have these conversations with people that you were involved with, not only for growth, but for closure as well. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you guys to stay confused or be bitter on things that happened in the past. I want you to grow and I want you to move on from them. So this is me being transparent. From all the fucking up that the kid was doing back in the day, we gonna put it on Front Street, so it's right in everybody's face. Last point before we get into it, don't be afraid to have these conversations, and don't be afraid to ask them to have these conversations. The worst thing anybody can say to you is no, and if they say no, cool. Maybe they still haven't healed from it. Maybe they still need to get over it. Or maybe they just don't want to talk to you. So, if you get no the first time, I say give them some more time, to try and move past it. But then they keep telling you, just forget it and just, chalk it up as an L, and that's perfectly fine too. Tell them it's for research. But all in all, I hope this does something for somebody. And at the end of the day, pay attention and get better so you can do better. All right, let's get to it. So before we do get started in this episode, I do want to talk about Miss Shari Nicole Thomas real quick. Miss Shari Nicole, shout out to you, Shari. Shari's, Sharí as I used to call her. Me and Shari dated going into my sophomore year, so 2010, 2011, and it's a couple things that made me shoot at her, and I'll talk about it when I give the commentary during the video. But at this point in my life, so I was just coming off of I just crossed, so I'm Greek now, right? This is my first couple months into Greekdom, and I'll break that down and explain that to you as well, because that is a completely different universe that you step into. And there were plenty of conversations they had with us while we were online. They were like, hey guys, don't be getting in no relationship when y'all cross, because it's going to be crazy for y'all. Y'all going to get a lot of attention. There's going to be a lot of women jumping on y'all. And we like, shut up, bro. We grown. Mind you, we 18, 19 thinking we grown as hell. We think we know everything and we don't know nothing. But it's a lot of things I'll unpack. We're gonna do these next 2 episodes in a commentary form, so it's gonna be like the real world, the office type shit. So I'll pause the video, boom, give my insight, my commentary. I'll unpack some things just so y'all guys just so you guys won't have too many questions for me. I'll try to overly explain everything on anything that I think may be confusing. But yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so this is episode 1 of my Man in the Mirror mini series. I have one of my exes, Shari Thomas, here. And when I tell
Hey
you
y'all.
I'm nervous as hell, I'm nervous as hell. Okay. So me and Shari dated from 2010 to 2011. And I got a couple questions. And she agreed to come on. Shout out to you. So let me ask you. First of all, is there anything you want to say before I start throwing these questions at you?
Nah, I'm just ready to talk about whatever we're about to talk about.
Okay.
I'm happy to be a part of your podcast. Very proud of you and what you've been doing. So let's see what we're gonna talk about.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let's kick it off. First question. What do you think initially attracted me to you?
What do I think initially attracted you to me? So this question actually makes me think because I'm not quite sure because I feel like our freshman year we really didn't communicate like that. Like I knew of you. I know I had classes with your cousin Josh.
Yeah.
And so like I knew of you, but I didn't really know you like that really until our sophomore year. And so um I felt like when I first met you, you were just really, really quiet. So I was like, when it was brought to my attention that you were interested in me, I was like, oh dang, for real, like okay, because you were so quiet, you're introverted, so I didn't know like really much about you. But I think if I were to choose what you were interested in, I don't know, maybe because I'm nice or I smile a lot. I don't know. Or maybe from what you heard from Josh, because I know Josh always talked to me about you. So I don't know if he shared some stuff with you about me. But yeah, I don't know. I would love to. Would love. I don't know if you can share with me. I don't know. Why were you interested in
Hey,
me?
you'll learn when the episode comes. So this is that episode. Okay. So yeah, she was nice and she did smile a lot, but it was more to that. And I'll rewind back to freshman year. So freshman year, right? There was this floor on Morrill Tower. It was the 14th floor, and the 14th floor was where all the black people stayed. Okay, and it was kind of high schoolish. 100% it was kind of high schoolish. So I didn't really find myself up there a lot of the times because, you get tired of niggas every now and then, right? So we ended up meeting her my freshman year. So we met her as well as everybody else who lived on the 14th floor, and we knew a couple other people in Morrill Tower as well. I think at the time that year she had a boyfriend. Cool. So the next year, when I found out that she was single. Now, granted, mind you, I told you I'm fresh offline, right? And found out she was single. And I think at the time my cousin Josh was in math class with her, so they used to study her all the time. And he'd be like, yo, I'm in class with Sheree. I'm like, oh. Now let me tell you why. So first of all, yes, she was very nice. She was dope though. She's one of those people that you can tell like are on their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she was on her shit. Not only was she on her shit, but she was about shit. You know what I'm saying? And that made her dope to me. Her personality was just fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? Because she was nice. Everybody loved her. Everybody wanted to meet her. She was that nigga, so to speak. And she had some nice. She had some nice. She has some nice thighs. You know what I'm saying? She has some nice legs. And at that time, leggings had just came out, and we'll talk about that later on in the episode, so I'll mention that later on. But she was attractive, you know what I'm saying? She was attractive, and she had a fire ass personality, and she was on her shit, and that's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, Josh, every time, just throw me in there or whatever. And yeah, I know my cousin had me, man. He's a good wingman. So I remember one time they came over and they would study, And every time, I gotta walk out my room, go in the kitchen, do something. Oh, what's up? Oh, y'all good? Oh, hey, Sharí, how you doing? Yada yada yada. Boom, right? So it was more so like a long game thing as opposed to me. Boom, I'm interested. Let me jump on your back. I'm a sniper. You know what I'm saying? Long game, long range, and but yeah. So that's what attracted me to Sharí's. All right.
I'll put it
Oh,
on.
I
Hey,
gotta wait.
but shout out to Josh though. I didn't know he was
Hi,
wingman.
Josh.
Shout out to Winchell. Yes. Shout out to Winchell. Okay. So this was sophomore year. And
Yep.
so let me ask you, what was I like? What was I like as a boyfriend?
Funny as hell,
There we go.
like you are. Very, very goofy, very energetic, always positive, and just very upbeat for the most part. From what I thought of you before we dated, I just thought you was quiet, didn't say nothing, introverted. But then as I dated you, I was like, okay, he's not as introverted as I thought. He actually has a big personality. You are a people person around people who I feel like and you're comfortable with. So I would say, yeah, that you were fun,
Yeah, see,
entertaining.
I'll take fun. I'll take fun. So okay. I was amazing, first of all. Um, in your opinion, why do you think we didn't work out?
Number one, I feel like we were young. Like me and you discussed, we dated 2010, 2011. So we were 19 years old. Um, in my opinion, we're in college. We think we're grown, but we were immature. And I think the biggest thing was, to me, like communication. So me personally, I felt like, how you got the little honeymoon stage, everything is going great, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, when you're in a relationship with people, you start to see people's layers, right? People see how people are. And so I feel like if there was ever a situation that we maybe, and this is me pulling back, like I said,
Yeah,
10 years. So I'm really trying to like think back
yeah.
to when we dated. I feel like if there was ever a situation like, or a hardship, I don't know if we knew how to properly communicate through that, if that makes sense.
That's
And
right.
then at the time, I know when I first started dating you, I know you had just pledged, you were
Yeah,
just fresh to the Greek world, and so that was our difference, right? Because so you're newly Greek, and you're more in the scene, and I feel like that for me, I don't think it was an issue for me, but me having my own thing that I was trying to pursue, and you being in that light kind of made it like, I don't want to say an easy target for me, but I noticed like that made it weird on my end for certain things.
it did.
So I would
Yeah.
say like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, well, you go, you
I
date
remember.
James.
Yeah, we used to have those conversations.
I don't want to name drop. You date James, and I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh well, blah blah blah, and then I just kind of gotta play my role. You know what I'm saying? So that I feel like that made it kind of iffy, but I think being young, our paths of life at the time were slightly different, and communication, just learning how to communicate through certain situations. I don't think we were prepared for.
100% on the communication. My communication was ass.
I know, and I don't think I thought I communicated well until I met you. I was like, dang, like I really feel like I'm trying to like express myself. Like I never thought I was an emotional or a sensitive person. And then I was like, boom, like I
Yeah,
guess I got to figure out how this actually works. Cause like we all dated when we was in high school and stuff like that, right? But I feel like you said, I was your second
second,
girlfriend,
second girlfriend.
right? And I feel like same for me. So I haven't really dated like that. So you were like one of my first like actual relationships. So that was new. Relationships are not just warm and fuzzy and easy. You got to really deal with the stuff that you need to deal with. And I don't think either one of us were prepared to do that.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So a couple things, right? Sheree was my second girlfriend, as she explained, because I did tell her that. So when you're in round two, so to speak, in life, you still don't really know what you're doing. You haven't really got the hang of anything like that. So like we said, communication was ass. I get in these modes, and I get into these modes even to this day. I get into these modes where I don't feel like being bothered. I don't feel like talking to anybody at all. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for like a couple people in my family members. Now, the difference between now and then is now I'll tell you, hey, I'm in a mood. I don't feel like talking to nobody. Back then, I wouldn't say shit. I just wouldn't talk to you. And yeah, it's bad and toxic. But like I said, my communication was ass. But you gotta understand, this is a 19-year-old kid, growing up in a small city. Motherfuckers didn't talk about anything like that. Motherfuckers didn't talk about their emotions. Like, anytime you felt you were in a mood, you just got over it, or you were angry and you lashed out. And I'm not a lash out kind of guy, so I would just go away. You know what I'm saying? So it was bad. Communication just sucked, bro. You know what I'm saying? I take ownership of that. But like I said, now I'll let you know, hey, I'm in a bad mood. I don't feel like talking to you today. Boom. It won't come off like that, but I'll tell you though. Yeah, and that might not even be the right way to go about it, but it does help. It does help. It does help to have that space sometimes. And now I'm thoroughly more open to communicate that. Second thing is, she did say that I was brand new being Greek, and I'll unpack that. So we ended up pledging, and then we crossed the day school started, and we'll be online, and older brothers will tell us like, yeah, don't get into no relationship because you're gonna have a lot of attention. Basically, it's gonna be like a bunch of chicks trying to get at you and stuff just because you're in a fraternity. Like, it has nothing else to do with anything. Like, they don't even have to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to know anything about you. They know of you, and they know that you're in a fraternity, and they're gonna be on you, and that might be tough if you're in a relationship. And so as like 19-year-old kids, we're like, shut up, bro. I got mad discipline. I ain't worried about none of that. And it is a problem. It's a big problem. And a lot of people get lost in that. You know what I'm saying? Because you become this rock star, so to speak. I don't want to overly complicated or overly overestimated. But if I could compare it to something, you're like a rock star. And you just get this random attention. And a lot of times it was unwarranted, especially for me because I'm introverted in nature. But you get all this attention. And like she said, even if I wouldn't feed into the attention, they would go to her and tell her certain things about me, whether they thought I was attractive or whether they seen me talking to somebody or whether it was anything. You know what I'm saying? They would just run to her and tell her stuff that I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of like, it ended up fucking up a lot of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Because granted, like I said, Sharí knew a lot of people. Everybody wanted to know Sharí because she was mad cool and mad dope. So when everybody wanted to know you, it's like everybody just started hopping in our business. And it was like, damn, man, can y'all leave us the fuck alone? But it eventually started, pulling us apart. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. A lot of jealousy and stuff. We'll talk about it.
And what's crazy, and I am going to speak a little bit because I didn't want to, but I am. So what's crazy is like, you can tell like how young and early we was because I used to be like very territorial of you. Like, because I remember like around that time, leggings had just came out.
Oh my God.
Like,
If Jara watches this, that's going to be hilarious because we used to have conversations about this leggings and Ugg boots thing.
bro, I couldn't take it. I'm like, hey, like, Sharí, like, can you not wear that? You like, no, I'm about to wear that. And then it's like, I have conversations with Carl. I'm like, Carl, am I tripping? Like, I don't think she should be wearing that. You know what I'm saying? But
yes.
Oh,
that's true.
That's
true. And that's a back to the personality thing. Cause I'm thinking like, ain't nobody about to tell me what to do. But then I'm like, oh, but that's my boyfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, should I try to be more respectful? So it's like, I'm still trying to be me and be my independent, stern self. But then I'm like trying to understand your perspective and where you're coming from. And we 19. So
that was tough, man. That was tough.
So let me speak on the leggings thing. Okay. So now in 2022, leggings are normalized. We're talking about 2010 when they just like started mainstream and it's just started popping off. And my issue with them was basically you were basically outside with no pants on. That's how I seen it because they're tights. They're form fitting, and at that point in time, women would start to wear them with like nothing else. So they were wearing them as pants with like short shirts, and I'm like, damn, like I don't want my girl wearing that. You know what I'm saying? So I had a problem with it because, like I said, Sharí had some nice legs. She had some nice thighs, and for other women, when we would be on campus, and I mean, obviously you gonna look, you know, I'm not a pig or nothing, I'm just being a man. And a lot of chicks will wear these leggings and they wouldn't have no drawers on. And you can tell they ain't got no drawers on. And I'm like, well, I don't want no nigga looking at my girl's ass. You know what I'm saying? Especially with some leggings on. So it was a lot of times that I would get in, like me and her would get into it because I'm like, yo, why are you wearing that? You know what I'm saying? And 19-year-old me didn't like it. I couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle a little bit of jealousy on there. And then sprinkle in all that side noise that we got coming in because, like I said, I'm Greek now. And she knows a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And it's we just started. It was a lot of stuff, man.
So, so what did you do differently? So after we called it quits, what would you say that you did differently in your later relationships after me?
Communicate about how I feel up front. Number one, because I feel like honestly, so like I feel like things with me and you were really really good at first, and then territorial stuff and the jealousy stuff with this person. I mean, thinking about the limelight you're in, at this point, any person that says, "Oh, James is cute," or "Oh, I like James," or whatever, and sometimes people was like being blunt about it, saying it to me. It put a little rift in how I think I handle things. Because like I said, I didn't think I was a jealous person. I didn't think I would. I thought I was a person who communicated well. But being with you at that time kind of like made me reflect on how I can be or how I can think. And I feel like towards the end, although things like I think things got rough at some point where you were kind of like it was a situation where we were good and we were kind of slowly like not being good, and then it was just like a cutoff for you. So I'm a person, I'm a closure person. I'm like, okay, if this ain't gonna work, tell me why. Like we need to talk about this, like what's going on. And I felt like for you, this is just me from what I remember, I felt like it was more of like a you weren't in a place where you wanted to talk about anything, like you didn't want to have closure about anything. So on my side, it left me upset, you know what I'm saying, because I feel like I'm trying to be mature and communicate about something, but on the other hand you're not. So it made me look at you different in that moment, like, dang, this nigga don't even want to talk about, nothing. Like if anything, like, cause I'm a person where I don't feel like I don't like no ill feeling. So even if I break up with somebody, like I still like to communicate, you know what I'm saying, after the fact. We can still be cordial after the fact. But in the moment when me and you were starting to like, I guess not be a thing, because I felt how you handled the ending of it, not communicating how I would have hoped for you to communicate based off of us. We were in a relationship, so at least give me that respect, to have a conversation with me. I felt like you were very mature and how you handled it. Me too, but I felt like there were certain times where I wanted to approach you or wanted to have a conversation, and it was just like,
Yeah.
you weren't feeling it at the moment. And so now, after you, I was just like, and I know you're a Libra. I was like, I ain't dating no Libras. Like, I'm done with Libras. Like, I was like, they terrible at communicating. You know what I'm saying? They be in there, I'm done with them. And then, funny thing is, why anyone I've dated after that has been a damn Libra? You jinxed me.
Bro, we just good people. I like when we get it together, we're good people.
when I give you that, when y'all get it together, but baby, y'all got a lot of things in common. The communication, when y'all shut down, like when y'all are not balanced. It I feel like it showed, what I'm saying, that's real. And so I feel like after you, I didn't want to really date nobody for a minute. I need a chance to get myself together because I didn't like how that ended. And I'm very positive, you know what I'm saying? I don't like no bad blood, and I feel like I wish things would have ended differently. And I was, not I don't think we were cool. Were we not cool for a little
For a
bit?
little bit, yeah, we wasn't.
For a little bit, I don't think we were cool. It was like real, like how I didn't really want it to be, and I think it was just because of the communication at the end, which is not there, and we didn't sit down and have like an adult conversation. Um, and it kind of, put a sour taste in my mouth, but then, we got to forgive. So I, prayed on it, moved past it, and it was forgiven. And, here we are now. I think you're a fantastic person. And I just think that we were just young and we just didn't really, it was a lot happening at that time. We were both growing in our own ways, and yeah.
You know what was crazy when so like after we started drifting apart and you said you were trying to talk to me and I just wasn't going. And
That's
I was
facts.
I was
Remember we lived at Iuka?
yeah. So
I
and
remember I tried to
that's what
talk
I'm
to you.
saying. Because what the crazy part was like, okay, when I got over that and I wanted to talk to you because you lived across the parking lot. And then I would try and talk to you and you wasn't going. And I was like, well,
Cause I'm like,
damn.
this nigga, I'm like, cause I'm like, hold up. Cause I was trying to talk, I was trying to be a bigger person. And I tell you, giving me the cold shoulder. Like you would think I did something to you. I'm like, I ain't cheat on this man. I ain't did this. I ain't did that. Like, what is he mad at me for? Like, I'm mad at you. So if I try to talk to you, I literally picture this. You was getting off the bus from school and you was walking to your little apartment. You was back there by the bushes.
Yeah.
And I remember I came up to you trying to talk to you. And you was just like, how you get that, little straight face, how you had your little headphones in, your little straight face. You just dismissed me. Like, I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, I see where we at. So that's where I was just like, all right, well, he ain't talking to me. Well, F it, I ain't talking to him. And that was immature on my part, but I felt like I tried.
You did. But I didn't know how to deal with heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Because
I
I
know, but
think
I don't even know.
at that time, I think that because I wasn't like overly expressive, right? So I don't think you really knew how I felt about you at the time. I remember
I
Damo
did not.
would come up to me and she'd be like, you love Sharí, nigga. Da, da, da. I'm like, I do. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm like, she know that, but do she? Because you don't ever say it. You know what I'm saying? So that's on me.
True.
But yeah, when you wasn't talking to me, I got even more. I'm like, well, shit. You know what I'm saying? She don't want to talk about it. Then fuck it. Then but that was already after I didn't want to talk about it. Now I want to talk about
Right.
it. Expect
You didn't talk a lot. You did not talk. Like, there are certain things, like I said, you very goofy and talk, but when it comes to serious stuff and like real emotional, like intimate stuff, it's like you got this little wall, this little barrier where you only share what you want. So I, like you said, um, she know how I feel about her. I didn't always know how you felt about me. So like I didn't always know, which is why I was on my end being frustrated. I'm like, God dang it, how do you like, what is you feeling? And I didn't really always know.
because I didn't know how to express it. I didn't cheat on you either. I've never cheated on my life.
Okay, good, because there were a few times
No,
where I
listen,
was just
bro,
like,
and I'll talk about that. But it was a lot of the times, a lot of people was just talking just to talk. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with me.
So, like I said, communication was awful, And when I used to get in those modes where I didn't want to talk about nothing, I didn't want to talk about shit. And there was nothing you could do to make me want to talk. Like I said, it was 19. What are you going to do to a young kid? So she stayed across the parking lot from me. We were in Iuka Park Commons, 462 apartment G, East Northwood. You feel me? And so it's not like we wouldn't run into each other. We just wasn't talking. So when I finally got over, being mad or whatever, obviously now I want to talk. Hey, like, what's up? Like, why we not talking and shit like that? And at that time, she was not trying to fuck with me at all. So imagine this. I'm complete dickhead mode. Then when I get rid of dickhead mode, now she's in complete dickhead mode. So now it's like now it's like the stubbornness switched, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand. At the time I didn't understand. I'm like, man, what you mean you're not talking to me? Stupid, bro. I was young. But hey, shout out to Damo too, man. Damo used to always try to check me, man. She be like, James, what the fuck is you doing? I'm like, Damo, what is you talking about? Like, Damo's awesome, man. Damo was awesome. My bad, y'all. The communication just wasn't there. You don't get taught how to communicate. They need classes for this shit because that shit ain't easy, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think after me and Sharí split, um, you know, nigga started being a fuck nigga, a city boy as they call it. Cause I was definitely for the streets afterwards. Like I said, I didn't cheat on Sharí. Would never cheat on anybody. But when we broke up, what?
Remember we was at that party, the one party. I don't remember whose house it was. It was like right by.
I know what you're talking about. Off of 4th Street. Like, is it like you back by Ayuka? Like back
No,
there
no,
by
no, no,
them
no.
house?
This is a different one. This is a different. Well, then we're gonna talk about whatever party you was about to bring up. But we was at some party, and
Yeah.
I was in there. I was sitting down, and then you came in, and I made you sit on my lap. And I remember somebody tweeted, "They was like, oh, I want that Sharí and James kind of love." I said, "Yeah, smooth move, my man." What party was you about to talk
um.
about? To light me up.
So that's so funny you brought that up because that's when we was good. Like we was
Bro,
good.
we
I
was on
like
point.
that.
We was on point. Yeah.
We was. So when we good, we good. Um, I was talking more so I think toward the end where where I didn't know what you was thinking. I'm like, well, he ain't talking to me, or he, whatever. Like, what he doing?
Yeah.
And then I can't remember. I don't know where we was at. We was at somebody's party, and this is when you was playing Cool Jane. You and Carl, was duo. So y'all walking around, big macho, little macho, real cool for school. And you just, I don't know, you didn't acknowledge me, but you was talking to another female, I think, while I was in the vicinity. And I was just like, he is just so disrespectful.
Corny.
And I think I was like, he is so disrespectful. Cause me and him, we ain't even have a conversation yet. He over here flaunting these females, in my face. And at the time being young, of course my mind goes to the negative. So I look at that party where I sat on your lap and we was all cute and exclusive to the ending where it was just like my perception was probably way off. It could probably been your cousin you talking
Yeah.
to, but in my mind, I'm thinking like you just out here in these streets. And granted, once again, no communication. Like we didn't talk about nothing. So our mind, I can't speak for you, but my mind was just like everywhere based off of the lack of communication.
Yeah, and that was corny. That what you just meant. That was corny. Bro, I did some corny shit. But yeah, like I said, as a young man, you know what I'm saying. You don't really know how to communicate or express that, so you do corny shit. You like, all right, well, she ain't talking to me, then I'm about to do something in her face. It's corny, bro. I was corny.
I know. I'm glad we're past that.
Yeah, bro.
I don't like stuff like that.
Mad corny. Okay, so let me ask you, what is your least favorite memory of me, and then I'll tell you my least favorite memory.
My least favorite memory. Ooh, I don't think I have. I don't think I have like a least favorite. I guess it's like a connection of like just glimpses of things. So like, okay,
You sound like you.
I don't
Hold
think
on, wait a minute. That
no.
face you made.
It's like okay,
Like,
no. The reason why because I don't like when here's how you know when somebody has like your heart or your emotions because they have like power over you and make you like
shit.
act out of your character type deal. And so I'm not a person like you said. I feel like I'm more on the classy side. I'm not
100%.
in the streets trying to like scramble and fight people. But I feel like there have been times where when me and you weren't good, um, I feel like it made me act out of character. And that made me like reflect and step back. Like there should be no one should have that much power over you to make you like act out of your skin or make you feel like you have to like be outside of your authentic self. And I feel like there are a few times where I'm not proud of how I handle myself to and I apologize to people who I might have caught the other side of that, but it was because of I don't know if you remember. I can't say her name, but she was younger than us. Her name starts with a J.
Okay.
We were at
Hey,
like
no
some
name. Yeah, no
icebreaker.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at some icebreaker, and I don't know. Some I can't remember, but I remember I acted out of pocket and responded in a way that I know I was raised better than. I should not have responded that way. And I don't know this person from a can of paint, you know what I'm saying? But it was taken out on this person who didn't deserve that because of something going on with me and you. And so like I think that's my least favorite is the me feeling like out of my true self. You know what I'm saying? Me act out of my emotions because me and you didn't talk about stuff and handle stuff how we should have. Does that make
It
sense?
does. It does.
Okay.
I heard about that situation. I was at home, and but
Yeah,
like,
it
yo,
was feeling good.
like, what you mean? What's he doing? And like, nah. But that's why I rocked with you though, because you was always about your mans though. You know.
I was wilding, yeah. I was just like, hold up. And then I get home, like, they're like, Sheree, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like, mess around with James' ass. But
No, that's that
I've
Stupidville.
grown.
That's that
I've grown.
Stupidville in you.
Yes, it's a stupid bill. It's a stupid bill.
Okay, so here's my least favorite memory. So this is when me and you, I don't know, I think we was in a bad spot, right?
Okay.
And
And I don't even know how do we gotta get to I don't quite remember how do we get we were so good. How do
that's
we
what I'm
get to the
saying.
bad spot? To be continued, because I don't know.
I don't know either, but we definitely got to
Okay.
figure it out and then talk about it. But so it's about to be spring break, right? And I'm staying in
Right.
Ayuka. I think you were still in Moral, and I got this computer, like this big ass touchscreen computer. It was very expensive. Hold on.
I think I know what you're about to say. Damn, I do
So,
remember
so I
that.
called my friend over, and not granted, we can laugh about this now because nothing really happened. But in the moment, I understand how you felt about it, right? So I called my friend, like I said, we ain't mentioned no name. So she comes over, I'm like, yo, I got this new computer, like you gotta come see it. She comes over to see the computer, right? It's nighttime. Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad situation. And I was watching a movie. She didn't even watch the movie. She had literally just got there, right? So I paused the movie. She's like, yo, you trying to get something to eat? Yes. So we leave and go to Taco Bell, right? Now, we get back to the to the apartment and I'm coming up the steps. And it's you and three of your friends. We not gonna mention any
Oh,
names.
we was ready to
As
go.
soon as I got through the door, bro, the way you looked at me,
I'm so sorry.
bro, as soon as I
I was
come through
just
the door,
like,
you like, I'm like, this ain't even
and
like
didn't somebody let me in? I feel like was I already
Tremaine
inside
let you
waiting on you?
in. Because here's the
Who
thing,
let me in?
Tremaine. Remember, Tremaine was coming
Yes,
because we
yes.
didn't even know. I didn't even know you was coming. And so what you said was you was like, "Yo," it was well, how it was explained to me because you ran in the bathroom, and they was telling me they was like, "Man, James, how could you? You know what I'm saying? Like it's about to be spring break. Sheree just wanted to come over and talk to you and wrote you a letter and shit. Like you ain't shit." Da, da, da. I'm like, I didn't do nothing, but I understand how it looked.
It looked so
It
bad.
looked terrible. It looked terrible. Mine is like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm coming obsessed with a chick, bro. It's a movie paused on my computer. It looked bad. So I go in the bathroom with you. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, yo, I'm not even doing nothing. Like, and I'm mad at them because they hyping it up. Like, oh, you ain't shit. Leave her alone. Da, da, da. I'm like, bro. But nothing.
And
The crazy part is like nothing really happened though. So you know what I'm saying. But like I said, in the moment, I understand how you felt and how they was hyping up how it could make you feel. But it really wasn't even that. And it sounds stupid because it's like
I
a movie. A
know.
dude comes up. It's not what it looked like. Like motherfucker, this is
I know.
exactly what it
And
looked.
you with a girl, y'all got food, movie pause, and you I told you you used to have this like, ooh, this little I don't care, like, and I know you care,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, deep down.
100%.
But the James face, like literally I would like you have this face where you just like, what's up? Like you walk up the steps. I'm like, also this nigga think he just out here. Cool. All right. And so you already had that like little aura about you. Granted, I'm like, we can't even talk about what's going on. But he, in my mind, look like you just moved on. Life is just great on your end. But granted, I truly didn't know what was going on with you. But just the way it was looking, on top of that, it was just adding on to the pile.
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked really bad.
Yeah,
Like even the
it
next day,
looked.
I was like, damn. And I had to go talk to man. I said, man, well, what the fuck, bro? Like, talk about throwing your mans under the bus. I'm like,
I'm
God
like, put
damn.
yourself in my shoes. Like, imagine if you came over to talk to me and I came, I got my guy friend, we went and got some food. He had my crib,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
Movie
it.
pause. And I walk, and then when I walk in, I look at you like, "What's up?" And you like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? Like, just
I'd have been sick.
imagine how that feels.
Yeah, I'd have been sick. I'd have been sick. I'd have been sick.
Guys, you have to hear me out on this one. When I tell you this scene was straight out of a fucking movie, it didn't make no sense. Now, granted, like I said, me and Sharí was in a tight spot, and it was about to be spring break. Now, this is a friend of mine. I wasn't looking at her like that. She wasn't looking at me like that. We was just mad tight. And I had got this touchscreen computer, which at that time, it was like, yo, that was some cool shit. Because I spent a lot of money on that motherfucker. Shout out to them YSP refund checks. And I was like, hey, like, you trying to come over and see the computer? Now, mind you, it's late as fuck. Oh, it looked so bad. It was late. It was like 10, 11 o'clock. And so she gets there. Doesn't even come in yet. Calls me. Hey, I'm hungry. You trying to get something to eat? Yes. I come outside. We go to Taco Bell. And it's vivid. That's how I know it was Taco Bell. We come back. I'm walking up the steps, bro. Door open. Sharí standing right there with 3 of her friends. And they just start letting me have it. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So my friend, like, she like, nah, like, it ain't even like that. You know, we just mad tight. So Sharí running the bathroom. So now I'm a bunch of you ain't shits and how could you? And I'm like, all right, man, it's only so much disrespect you willing to take in your own house. Like, you're not about to talk to me like this in my own house. So I go in the bathroom. I'm talking to Sharí. You should have seen how she looked at me, bro. Like, as soon as I came up the steps, she looked at me. She was like, what the fuck is this nigga? Like, one of them. Like, man, what the fuck? Like, she would have stabbed me if she had something in her hand. You know, she probably wouldn't stab me, but that's the look it was. Like, what the fuck, nigga? So, go in the bathroom. I'm like, yo, like, what's wrong or whatever? You know, emotions and stuff. And she's like, I can't believe you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I literally really didn't do anything. Situation made it look like I did everything because it's a movie paused. It's nighttime, and I'm coming up the steps with food with some chick. Oh, that looks bad. It looks bad. You know what I'm saying? So, meanwhile, they still screaming at me through the door. So in my head, I'm like, man, damn, shut the fuck. That was such a bad. It was such a bad situation, man. And as guilty as I looked, I literally didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? That's why we can laugh about the situation now, because it was like, yo, that was some funny shit, you know? And after that, there was a new rule implemented in 462 East Northwood Apartment G. Like, yo, if I didn't tell you I invited somebody over here, don't you open up that door for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because that could have ended up way worse than, you know, what actually happened. But, you know, shout out to Sharí, man. She's a warm-hearted person, bro. But I understand. I understand why they was yelling at me. I understand why she got mad. But, you know, we can laugh about the situation now because it's funny. But at the time, woo, that shit looked rough. It looked bad.
But yeah, that was my least. That was my least favorite one. I'm like, damn, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because that
11
wasn't
years
your
later.
fault. That wasn't your fault, though. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it, you be like, yo, that was 100% on me. Because it was like, but at the same time, I didn't know you was coming. You know
I know. I don't even know why I ended up over there. I don't even remember. I think it was you about to get out of spring break. I don't know. I don't know if I called you or texted you. You didn't respond. So I was just like, you know what? I'm about to just go over there. Like, you know, and of course my friends probably hyped me up. Like, if you really have feelings for him, you know, you go tell him how you feel. Go fight for your man, you know. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's go over there. And I go over there and it's like, cricket. I'm like, dang. I'm just like, Lord, you couldn't give me a warning. Like, you let me walk into this. Like, thanks. I was so mad.
That shit was crazy. So like, describe our relationship now. Because we don't hate each other.
I think No, I don't. And I always, and it's so fun. You can ask like every now and again I talk to Taylor about you, Dominique, Skyla, all like Jara, all of them. They all, it's so funny because everybody got their inside jokes about, when we dated and stuff. And I feel like I said, we dated over 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? So at the time we were young, we didn't talk after that, but only for a short period of time. Like I said, I think I moved to Indianapolis, came back, and then we did end up having a conversation, after we graduated. And it was a respectful one. I feel like it was both, we both got a chance to express ourselves in a way that we didn't know how to before. And I feel like from there, like, we're cool. Like, I don't think there's no bad blood. Like, I feel like we both forgiven whatever that was, and I think we acknowledge that we were just, I don't want to say children, but we were immature then, and how much we've grown now. And so, like, we can joke about stuff, we can talk about stuff. Like, there's no ill feelings. Like, I support you when you need supported, and I feel like you would support me too if I needed it.
100%. Hands down. Hands
Right
down.
on.
So I'm gonna say I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. So I do this thing where I got 9 random questions, right? And
Okay.
you give me a number, and I'll ask you that question that the number pertains to. And I want it to be transparent, so go as deep as you want, and then you got to
Okay.
a message to it at the end of it. So give me a number 1 through 9.
I get only one number.
Yeah.
13.
13. I said out of 9.
Oh shit.
You
4.
Well, I can add 4 to the 9, so it'll be
No, my bad. That's me. I'm falling. So 4.
4. Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah, no, because I was gonna ask you for.
Remember, that's another funny thing.
Grow up.
I still see 4:44 on my clock, and I'm like, God dang it, James!
Bro, because
every time I see 4:44, I think about you.
Because they used to be on Facebook. I'm like, yo, because we used to write on the walls, like, yo, anytime you thought of me, you put a 4. I'm like, come on, man, that's what I'm talking about.
So I'll unpack the 4 thing. So me and Sharí had a lot of cute shit. We did a lot of cute shit. We had a lot of cute moments too. Like I said, the scenario where I made her sit on my lap at the party, and they tweeted about it. They're like, "Yo, with that James and Sharí kind of love." Anytime, because I was a quad online, anytime she thought about me, she would write a 4 on my Facebook wall. It was a lot of cute. That was my homie, bro. Sharí was dope as hell, man. And she said 13 because that was her line number. What a nutcase. She's childish. Like, grow up, lady.
Bro, we was fucking tight.
Oh, no.
Damn, we was.
So hit me with number 4.
Okay.
Hit me with number 4.
Okay. What was your lowest point in life?
Ooh. Like, we're talking about like recently, like now?
Anything.
So I feel like currently I'm on my like own personal spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I just got baptized and stuff in November. Like, been going to church heavy, like really trying to get my, as you growing, the world is crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like, the more you are getting closer to God, I feel like the more I feel like life is test you. So like, I feel like the Lord is trying to teach me. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I noticed that he's starting to reveal like certain things about people, you know what I'm saying, that is kind of hurtful. So like, certain friendships are being removed, certain relationships are being removed. And when that type of stuff happens, like, our natural self is like, sad, you might feel like, Lord, why are you punishing me? Like, why is all this stuff? I feel like all these things are going wrong. And I feel like within the past year and a half, like, relationships, friendships, certain things have been adjusting. And I don't think I'm like quite prepared for it, but being optimistic about it, I know that it is for a greater purpose. You know what I'm saying? So like, it doesn't all make sense to me about what's happening, but I know that it is a divine plan for where I'm going to be, like the direction I'm going. So if people are not equally yoked with me, if people are not on the right path or trajectory that I'm on, then it makes sense that they're not going to be, you know what I'm saying, they're not going to be long term. So like, I think that's the biggest thing. So like, you know, when friendships fall apart, relationships fall apart, it can feel sad, you know what I'm saying, lonely at certain points, certain reminders, you know, memories and stuff like that. But I'm trying to like understand, you know, I'm 31, you know what I'm saying? We're grown. And I feel like that's all a part of the greater cause. So like I don't think I ever have low points where I feel like I'm very blessed, but those, cuz I'm such a relationship person, like I always want things to work out and I always want to have you know, some sort of control over certain aspects of my life, but I understand that I'm not the person that is always in control. So just sitting back and trusting the process and understanding that there's a victory waiting on the other end. I may not know what it is, but I know it's there. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Come on, man. Amen. Now, amen. Amen. So, let me ask you this before you want to ask me anything before we wrap it?
Is it something? Okay,
Anything.
I guess. Mm, so
I ain't
I feel like I haven't. What'd you
did
say?
not cheat on you if that's what you was about to ask me.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
What can I ask James? I know you said it was going to be later on in the podcast, but um in our relationship we were really tight, right? At some point, and it did start to like unravel. In your perspective, why do you think that was? Or is there something that I was doing at the time or maybe not doing at the time that made you in your mind think like this ain't it?
Nah, I think for the most part, like being 19, like I said, you were my second girlfriend ever. And I think it probably had a lot to do with how carrying on, I guess, like past experiences from my first relationship and
Okay.
how that dynamic was, right? So then me and you start dating and you knew a lot of people and a lot of people fucked with you, right? So then
Mm-hmm.
when I started doing my thing or whatever, I'm seeing all this shit and I'm hearing all this shit, right? But so it okay, so it had to do with a lot of that controlling thing, mind you, because I told you leggings just came out and you knew a lot of people. So when all these new dudes was coming up, and I'm like, well, how the fuck Sheree know these new people? You know what I'm saying? And then I would see the leggings.
I'm so
Bro,
sorry.
and then I would see the leggings. I'm like, nah, they not about to move in on me like that. You know what I'm saying? So then me and you got to arguing a lot because it was the same coming from you. You're like, well, who is these new mother? Like, nah, ain't none of that. But college was just like it was an experience for everybody, and we didn't know
It
how
was.
to navigate it. But yeah, a lot of that, and then so we started arguing a lot because of that. I guess we both had a little bit of jealousy going on. And then eventually I'm like, why? If she not about to see it my way, then this is some bullshit. And then you was like, fuck him. So it was it was kind of like the same kind of like we didn't talk about nothing. It was just like, yo, I'm feeling this way.
Oh,
This is what it is, and we never talked about it. You know what I'm saying? So we
true.
would just argue with each other, and then we just started, fizzling out.
Yep.
Sorry, you know what I'm saying? But I apologize back in the day.
You did. And now I look back at it, it was a bunch of just petty stuff.
Foolishness.
Like it was really petty. I feel like if we dated at a different time in life, it might have been different. Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It just probably would have been different. And so like I mentioned a lot about communication, like as far as why I feel like we wasn't where we needed to be. Do you feel like your communication since me has grown in your relationships? Do you feel like you're a better communicator in your
My
relationships?
communication is on point.
For real? It's like blunt because
It's
you're also very
on
blunt.
point. It's so blunt, but it's not. It's tasteful though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey,
Okay, okay.
so like, give me a situation. I'll let you know how I would have a problem with it.
So shit. So I don't know. You're gonna have to help me out. Give me a situation where in a relationship it was like a little hiccup or like a misunderstanding. Like,
With us,
did you like hold on to it? Yeah, like because I feel like if there was a situation where you would hold on to it and harp on it and maybe not express it until like, you know,
till everything blew up.
Until everything
It'd
blew
be.
up.
I would take that, and then it'd be a whole bunch of other little stuff just adding up. And
Yep.
I'm like, all right, fuck
Yep.
this. Now I'm like,
Right, you did this.
nah. Now I'm like, hey, Sharí, let me holler at you real quick, man. You'd be like, what? I'm like, hey, man, so I've noticed that say it was the leggings thing. Say it was the leggings thing. This is how I would handle
Okay.
the situation now.
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, Sharí, let me talk to you, man. You're like, well, hey, I see how you looking in them leggings over there. Not only do I see that, it's other dudes out here that see it too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a little bit of a jealous guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't wear them because you're a grown ass woman. But I would appreciate it if you took into consideration how I feel about this type of appearance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm walking around with beaters on. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I couldn't take it, bro. It's too many men out there, man. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to be competing with all these dudes out here.
Okay, yes, that is much better. Because before you were just like, yeah, we ain't doing a legging thing.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what you doing with them on? Nah.
And if Carl watches, Carl wasn't better because he was young. Anything you said, you know, he was going to co-sign and have your back. I'm like, God dang it, like,
Carl would, bro. It was like, I don't know. It was the same.
I'm like, let him think for himself.
It was the same way how like how your friends would do you. Like it's like, yo, there's James and there's something. Boom, 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 boom. So they're like, yo, there's Sharí, and I'm already looking at you, right? Because I'm okay. Sharí's in here. What's she doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey man, something. I'm like, bro, shut up. When that's with anybody, you know what I'm saying? It's not just them. It's other people, man. It's just I don't know. I feel like a lot of people were just nosy and just always wanted to talk about something, even if it wasn't true.
I think that's it too. And I think one thing I noticed is everybody don't got to be in your business and in your relationship. Everybody don't got to know every detail because A, they're not in the relationship. B, some of them really ain't in one, and they giving you their single, perspective. And then some people just be hating.
Facts.
So like stop letting people speak and be all up in the mix because they might want to see y'all's downfall.
I think it's definitely like 98% hating, 2% all that other stuff. Motherfuckers just hating, bro. That's just all it was. It's like y'all get up, man. It was crazy.
Right.
Thank you.
Can I ask you one more question?
Oh yeah. Come on.
Okay. So the first question you asked me is, I think it was, what do you think initially attracted me to you? I actually don't. This was a question mark for me because obviously I don't know. I can only speculate, but why? Because I didn't even know you knew who I was. Because when someone said, James said, what's up? I'm like, James. I'm like, how does he even know who I am? Because I don't think we really interacted our freshman year at all.
Because I hated the 14th floor. That's why I wasn't up there. I hated that shit, man.
Why would you hate our floor?
Bro, it ain't had nothing to do. So like, first of all, because it was YSP, then there was BRC, then there was Bridge, and then there was
and you were YSP, right?
YSP, yeah. But I was also BRC, so we came early. But I just didn't like the dynamic of the 14th floor. I thought it was very high schoolish. You know what I'm saying? And that's why
it was a good experience, though.
That's why I was never up there. I'm like, bro, it's like high school up there. I'm not doing it. So, but no, I definitely knew who you was. You're gonna have to wait till the episode come out to hear that, though. Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious to hear this because when I read that question, I was like, dang, I don't know, but I just know it was. I feel like you're a person where like you know what you want, and like if you want something, like you just go for it. Because you came at me a way that no one else has came at me. Like you was just like, "What's up?" Like I'm James, like and I could tell that you was interested. So it was interested in me right there.
Yeah, it was a couple. So the first time was when Josh invited you over and y'all was doing y'all math homework. And I'm like, Josh, like. And then after that, so no. It was so I was plotting on you for a minute though, but that was just one of the.
I didn't even know.
That was one of the.
I didn't even know
instances. You're not supposed to know.
I mean, but I told you to call me by surprise. I'm like, wait, what? And I feel like Josh knew for a minute, and he didn't tell me till the last minute.
He wasn't supposed to. That's supposed to be
Josh,
my
you should
man.
have told
Hey,
me.
Josh, fuck with me. He be like,
No.
all right, bro. So every now and then, if y'all had a conversation or y'all was hanging out, he would bring me up because he was supposed
He
to.
would.
You know, that's a
He
good
would.
thing.
He did that. He played that real good. Cause I'm like, he always bringing up James. And then when I start seeing you in public places, I'm like, oh, there go James. Like, got me get my eye on you a little bit. I said, okay.
Like, how you doing? So, and then I think it was after the Halloween party. That's when I was like, all right, I'm on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We had to walk back because Ayuka was through the woods and all that stuff, man. But
Oh,
yeah, you gonna
okay.
have
I'm
to.
looking forward to this.
Yeah, you gotta wait for that.
I'm gonna watch this whole episode because I need all the things I don't know. Okay, don't hold nothing back. Tell every piece.
It's gonna be it's gonna be really good, really good, really good. Thank you so much
Okay,
for
good.
doing this though.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, so I think so I got one episode and then it's mine. So after this week, next week yours should be up. And then after that, it's 2 more episodes, and I'm done with this relationship series, man. But
no, keep them coming.
I gotta get into people's trauma now. It's turning into people talking to me about like the childhood trauma and stuff like that. Like, bro, I had
you know what and I'm glad you said that because like I think one of your questions was like maybe this wasn't your question. What did you do differently in your relationships after me? You do notice like sometimes if people are not showing up for you in the way that you need them to, like if they're not giving it to you, it could be not intentional. Like I think people really do have childhood traumas, abandonment, certain family dynamics, and all of that definitely shows up in a relationship. And like you might be, healed, you might feel like you're ready to give your 100%, but like people really gotta really deal with themselves because you can't be in a relationship and give your all to somebody if you're not 100% yourself. And that is something that I've learned.
Yeah.
Is I can be I can be healed 100%, prayed up, and this person could be trying, but like you see certain things throughout about people. So I'm excited to see those episodes because I think mental health is a real thing.
100%.
Like
100%. I tell you what, what I changed after our relationship, and then I'm cutting it because I'm not gonna give you too much detail. So
I'm trying to pull a little bit.
Remember, right? You try to get me, and I'm not going. So remember, I told you how like I was like mad territorial, and I'm like, yo, like Sharí, I don't like her wearing this, or she can't do this, or whatever. The next relationship, I gave her too much space.
Really?
So it was like the complete opposite. I'm like, all right, well, if you thought I didn't care about our relationship, imagine how that one. She was probably like, damn, he really don't give a fuck, and I'll leave it at that.
How old were? So you would have been how old then? Still mid 20s?
22, right after graduation.
20. Okay, so a couple years removed.
So that's right, and I'm leaving it with that. Thank you, Sharí.
All right, I guess I'll stay tuned.
So that's that one. Shout out to Sharí for jumping on and doing an episode with your boy. That is a letter to my 2011 self. Man in the Mirror Relationships 101. Shout out to Sharí. Shout out to Steubenville. Shout out to the 14th floor. Shout out to YSP. Shout out to OSU. Shout out to Domo. Shout out to Carl. Shout out to Winchell. Shout out to Ayuka. Thank you. So I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you take it with you in your next relationship. Good luck.